It's easier to do that to somebody else's work, right? When it's your work, it's hard to do.
Good morning.
What up?
It is Tuesday.
What day is it?
I was literally just writing down something and I'll share with you guys, which is like, I literally just found myself doing it, and it's a tendency that we all have, which is when something's already working, this isn't a new concept, when something's already working, we're very hesitant to tear it down. One, either a reason we don't want to invest the time to tear it down and rebuild it in a way that will accommodate for all the new scenarios that have to happen. We usually duct tape it and stick gum on there and try and figure out anything we can do.
What's wrong, Michael?
I got gum in my hair.
Just to attach or mold. A lot of times that causes us to actually spend more time and have more headache than if we would have just torn it down from the beginning and redesigned it and rethought about it with the new scenarios in place, right? Now, you don't want to do this on the drop of a hat because it can be a real investment of time. It's only experience and honestly courage that you need in order to do something like this. But if you're not willing to tear something down because you're scared it's going to be worse than it was before, or you don't know exactly what it's going to look like when you rebuild it, you'll never ever be able to experience better or potential of the re-architecting of it, the stronger, the elimination of the technical debt or whatever it may be to get the optimum thing for the long term. Technical debt and headaches and this compounding effect of like fragile spaghetti code gets created from a fear of like, or just a laziness of not wanting to invest the time to do it right, or the fear of like, I don't know if it's going to be better or not. You can't,
Or not having the time.
or not. Well, that's what I was saying.
Depending if you're like on a deadline and you have it's like for a client, or if you have clients yourself on the platform that you need to rebuild.
And so like the little thing I was working on, which is like I had all this historical code that I had built and spent weeks on, right? All these scenarios I had solved, all these bugs had been fixed. The way that it was designed was preventing me from adding a few more things. Like it was just a painful thing that eventually I could have figured out, but it would have been so much more painful or made the code so much more fragile. Take a deep breath, swallow, and rip it out.
Here we go. We search for the organs. Where's the heart? The precious heart.
In order to now build what actually needed to be done, and I did it, and it works. It's just a lesson learned that if I would have done this from the beginning instead of trying to find some other way, I would have saved myself a lot of headache.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
We've all jumped into spaghetti code, and we've all written spaghetti code.
Yeah. But this also comes to life and like entrepreneurship, is a lot of times you'll find like a sales channel that works, or you'll be doing a pitch or something that's producing a certain level of results. And so you're like, oh no, I'm getting results on this. It's working, but man, it's not working as good. But you don't ever change it because you still want your results, right? Yeah. You don't know if you change it, what's going to happen. All you know is you're getting this certain level of results. Well, you have to look in the face of what I change might be worse than what I've been doing that has been producing results. But unless you do that, you'll never be able to discover exponential results, right? That are way better unless you face that risk and just do it.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to just trying different things. Not being scared to
break what's working to see what else could be. Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, and with that delightful piece of wisdom, we're going to go eat lunch. And the Egg King is Mr. Bagley. Yep. And you guys, we got, of course, our guac it. Pop, lock, and guac it. And now I go upstairs and eat. Normally, we just eat at our desks. Some days when we've been really tired, we will watch something together and eat. But now that we're back to the grind, all right, I have my computer in hand, and we're off to the great outdoors.
It's so beautiful outside. We gotta move the operation outdoors.
It is so beautiful. Tidying up for a little work area. Do you see these pink little petals? There's like this vine and this tree over here that produces these beautiful pink flowers, and leaves us with these little pretty decorations.
It is really gorgeous.
So we are heading down to dinner, but I want to show you, I just got this book in the mail. It's called Clicked. It says She Has Friendship Coded. And it's a book about a girl who is kind of struggling to make friends, and she's like nervous about going into middle school. And she builds an app that is supposed to help and allow you to make friends. But there's some sort of glitch in the app that could end up ruining the whole thing. So I'm excited to read it and let you guys know how it is. So yeah, but right now I am going to go downstairs and make dinner.
All right. Well, another day. Lots of stuff. Getting back in the groove.
Yeah.
We didn't do any coffee shops today. Actually, we worked. I mean, today went by so fast.
Yeah.
Like,
it's already 9 p.m.
Yeah, we blinked and it was over. Man. Had some victories today. Had to tear some things down to rebuild them from the ashes, but rebuild them in the way that was right and actually worked. You know, that was a consistent lesson that you always learn, which is like, don't be afraid to break something that works in order to try to make it better. When it's your work, it's easier to do that to somebody else's work, right? When it's your work, it's hard to do. You know what I mean? You're really invested in it. You spend a lot of time in it. Sometimes, if you're having a hard time, bring somebody else in that can just destroy whatever you're doing for you, eliminate you from the equation, and help you figure out what to do next.
You used to do that with me when I was in school.
Well, that's the thing. It takes a lot. Like when you're early, even when you're advanced, like as a developer, and this is anything in life. I'm talking about your sales process, your marketing, anything you're doing, even personal growth, right? Whatever it may be, you always have to challenge what you're already doing and not be afraid to break it down so that you can do it the right way. I feel like there's some real world analogy. Yeah, it is true. And the one thing too is like somebody was like, oh, well, was it just spaghetti code? When it started, it wasn't spaghetti code.
Never
it was just,
does.
Yeah, it never does. But as time progresses, it became unwieldy. And that's where there's all these things that kind of are holding it and propping it up, and you just have to pull out the pillars and let it all fall. But so you can rebuild it the right way. If you don't do that, and multiple times in life to reset, you might find that you're stuck doing the same thing over and over and over and running into the same exact problems, running into the same fragile things. Sometimes you just got to break it down to start over.
Mm-hmm. And it can be, related to other things outside of just programming.
Well, business. Pivoting.
Well, business, marketing, any sort of thing that you're doing, and you do something the same way over and over and over because you get results, but they may not be the best type of results that you could be getting. Like you could be getting far better results by changing something or starting over with a completely different process and a completely different direction. And I know you've gone through pivoting companies. I guess I've gone through pivoting.
Yeah, you have to.
Stuff too.
So pivoting a company is painful to swallow.
Parkour.
Because when you decide to pivot,
it's a bit depressing.
Yeah, you have to face
Mentally.
the reality that your assumptions were wrong. The thing that you believed in was incorrect. You're pivoting because you figured out it didn't work. But you didn't start because you thought it didn't work. Like you start because you thought it was going to work. Right? And so that is another example where sometimes if you don't pivot, you will die. You know what I mean? Your company will die, not you personally, but like your company will die, and you have to face the reality of like, this may not be working. And maybe it's not working in a sense of like zero results, but it's not working in a sense of like you're only getting little scraps and you're like, man, this isn't sustainable. That's another thing you can't be afraid to do. If you have to pivot, you've got to pivot. Swallow it, swallow your pride, swallow your assumptions, and just allow it to die and rebirth itself. You know what I mean? Like,
it's about learning. It's a process that you kind of go
learn.
through. And I'm a big proponent of doing and like learning on the way and pivoting, like doing all this stuff, which I know isn't probably the best way about going about things, but it kind of proves what does work and what doesn't work. And as long as you're doing something, you should be getting some sort of result back that either is solidifying your idea or not.
You're going to know. Don't lie to yourself thinking that well, whatever I'm gonna do, it's gonna be different, or maybe it will work in 6 months from now or a year from now. And the chances are, if it hasn't been working now, for however long you've been doing it, if it's like 2 weeks, well, then you're just not waiting long enough. But if you've really given it your all and you've invested and you've given it everything, then you're gonna have to face that reality. That's kind of like on the programming side, then on the business side of pivoting. We're gonna have to do a whole video on pivoting.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that on a different vlog, you guys. I think we've...
The painful pivot. That's what we can call it. The painful pivots.
Yeah. They're never fun. They're never easy. You have to put your pride aside.
You have to put your pride aside.
Ego.
But once the thing is about that, even we'll expand more in another video, but like when you do it though, trust me, it's painful in the moment, but when you do pivot and you find a new direction, you get a whole new sense of like hope, right? Because a lot of times before you pivot, you're kind of like beaten up. You know what I mean? But when you're like, hey, screw it, change the direction, we're in this whole new direction, you can get motivated and excited about it. And if you have to pivot again down the road, hey, you have to. But, generally it's better that you do it and not. And yeah.
But yeah, we'll save that for a different video. We've already talked to you guys quite a bit today.
I'm just chatting away.
Chat.
Chatty Cathy.
But if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know what you like about it or what you don't like or what topics you guys want us to touch on. Whether it's tech, business, marriage, relationships, working remote, just let us know in the comments. Like, we do appreciate all that feedback. Mm-hmm. And of course, please subscribe to our channel. Let us know that you guys are here watching us. We do we do push out videos every day, and we do that for you. We hope you guys like them. So let us know by hitting that subscribe button.
Thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow.